Okay, it is 10 o'clock and we will call to order the regular session of the Houston County Commission for October 24th, 2022. We do have a quorum as all commissioners are in attendance. And I want to welcome all of you to the last commission meeting chaired by me. It's an honor to have all of you here today. We're going to have our normal regular commission meeting and then a special presentation at the end and some comments. And I'm glad all of you are here to share today with us. The invocation today will be led by Pastor Clark Cornelius with Grace Anglican Church, if you'll come to the podium. Our pledge will be led by Commissioner Brandon Shute, if you'll all stand.
Let us pray. Almighty King, our creator, sustainer, protector, provider of every good thing, we thank you, Lord, for the many blessings that you're showing to us as we drive through the fields. Lord, we thank you for the time of harvest. Please be with those whose work is hard, whose days are long, as they bring in this wonderful blessing as you provided for our fields and our herds. Lord, we thank you for the gift of leadership. We thank you for the many, many years of service, of servanthood, of people using the gifts that you have given them to help others, to provide wisdom, guidance, counsel. Lord, we ask you would continue to do this as we have turnover and change, that you would continue to pour out your spirit upon all those who are called to give us good governance in order to provide for their fellow citizens, the people who live and work and play in Houston County. We ask, Lord, you continue to give them insight so that they may do what you call us to do, to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with you, our God. We ask these things, Lord, not because we are good, but because you are. You provide every good thing to us. And if we lack anything, particularly wisdom, you say we're only to ask. So, Lord, we seek, we ask, we knock, and ask that you would do what you do so well, which is to give us abundantly, graciously, and mercifully, according to your very good person. We ask this, Lord, in the name of the one who came not to be served, but to serve, and to give his life a ransom for many, our Lord Jesus Christ, in whose name we pray. Amen. Amen. To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Clark, for being with us this morning, getting our meeting started in the proper manner. Gentlemen, you each received copies of the minutes from the preceding meeting. If there are no corrections, do we have a motion to approve? Motion by Commissioner Lee, second by Commissioner Harrison. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passed. Several announcements this morning. As I kind of mentioned, this is our last meeting until after the election. I encourage everyone to get out and vote on November the 8th. If you are not going to be able to vote, please get you an absentee ballot. They are available. There are a few people up here that, believe it or not, still need your vote. And a lot of people in the state that need your vote. If you know anyone in Florida and Georgia, as I've said several times, we certainly encourage you to get out and vote in those states. Just wherever you live, your vote is a right that's earned by a lot of blood, sweat, tears, and death. So please get out and vote and exercise that right. The swearing in of the new commission will be on the 16th. We will not meet after today and pending any emergency until the 16th. That meeting will be held at 5 o'clock in this room. The swearing in will take place of the new commission and new chairman, followed by their first meeting where they will set all of their guidelines for the coming quadrennium, and then have a regular commission meeting. I believe that's correct. I'm looking at you like I assume you're gonna get elected. I hear there's a big write-in campaign coming. Don't forget the time change is week after next, I believe. Everybody fall back. It'll be dark earlier and we lose an hour of sleep, right? All right. Not that we ever lose it organic when it changes, but anyway, the time's changing. Don't forget to set your clock. And lastly, from what I have, the National Peanut Festival starts in about 2 weeks. The parade is on the 10th. Is that right? 10th or 12th? 12th, I think. 12th. Saturday. Here's Jackie correcting me over there. You're not going to do that much longer. The 12th, and just go ahead and make your plans. Tickets are available. Pre-sale tickets have been robust, so we expect a big crowd at the National Peanut Festival fair, and the parade is on that Saturday. So encourage everyone to take part in that and enjoy that activity. Any other announcements from the commission? Okay. And we will move right into the agenda. Take some proclamations down front. Your motion. All right, the first item under awards and presentations is a proclamation for Red Ribbon Week. I've been saying that for 25 years, so I have to say it. So, Red Ribbon Week is an important proclamation we do every year. Dana is going to be here, the executive director of 334 Preventive Project. I have a motion by Commissioner Harvey and a second by Commissioner Herring. All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passed. I'm glad you could be here with us today. The proclamation reads, whereas substance misuse in this nation has reached epidemic stages, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reports that 15% of high school students use illicit drugs in 2021, 14% have misused prescription opioids, and 414 youth ages 12 to 17 were reported to have alcohol use disorder. And whereas the most striking findings across the country include a significant increase in vaping in 2021, approximately 2.5 million, 9.3% of students reported vaping of the use of e-cigarettes. There were a record 108,000 drug overdoses in 2021, and about 2/3 of those deaths involved fentanyl, a synthetic opioid being used by international cartels to target our youth. There was a 15% increase, from 2020. And whereas a 3.96% of youth ages 12 to 17 misused prescription opioids in 2021. However, through education, there is hope in winning the war on drugs, and that hope lies in education and drug demand reduction, coupled with the hard work and determination of organizations such as the 334 Prevention Project, also recognized as the Dothan-Houston County Substance Abuse Partnership to foster a healthy, drug-free lifestyle. And whereas the most effective way to reduce the cycle of youth drug addiction and crime it causes is to reduce demand. The effort begins at home, and it depends upon the active participation of families, schools, and communities. Teens have consistently learned about the risk of drugs from their parents, and up to 50% less likely to use drugs than those who do not from their parents. And whereas the National Red Ribbon Campaign will be celebrated in every community in America during Red Ribbon Week, October 23rd through 31st, now therefore I, Mark Culver, Chairman of the Houston County Commission, do hereby proclaim October 23rd through 31st, 2022 as Red Ribbon Week in Houston County, and urge all citizens to join in this week's activities and programs in our community and to work all year long to build our community coalition to address the use and abuse of drugs and alcohol, increase awareness, and develop educational programs to create effective changes in attitudes and usage that will make our community drug-free. I will present this to you. Thank you for your work. I remember when the Substance Abuse Partnership was formed about 58 years ago or so. I don't know how long ago it was, but long time ago. And the work that has been done over the years has been great. We have made a difference, particularly in the lives of youth. I appreciate you continuing to do that. And please keep up the good work going forward. Thank you. Comments?
Thank you. For your long-term support and the entire commission. I'm confident after learning as much as I've learned over the last year that because of the power of prevention, lives have been saved and families have been spared the devastating effects of and consequences of substance misuse and abuse. I would like to just give you all a quick update because you have played a part in keeping our lights on at 334 Prevention. A lot of partnerships have been revived over the past year and new ones have been formed. We have an open door to probably, I'm not good at math, but 95% of the schools, city, county, and private in our area. We had maybe 10 youth council members, youth leadership council members last year. We have 62 this year, and they are excited and very upset they weren't allowed to be here today because there are so many people. I say upset, but they really did want to come. So yeah, I just want to just promise y'all that we will continue the effort and just thank you for your time and allowing us to be here.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. The second proclamation on the agenda is that of Farm City Week. I want to ask Micah Johnson and Doug Singfield to come down. I think, I guess you can come down, Doug. I think Micah's going to talk, but we have a motion by Commissioner Shute to approve the proclamation. Second by who is that? You? Second by Commissioner Singfield. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Why don't you read the proclamation, Doug, and let Micah make comments?
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
You don't need to.
Whereas for 65 years, American people have joined together during Thanksgiving week to observe Farm City Week, a time set aside to express gratitude for the bounty with which God has blessed our land. Throughout the week, Americans recognize the hard work and achievements of farmers, rural townspeople, and city residents to make our nation's agricultural production and distribution system so successful. The cooperation between rural and city dwellers for the mutual benefit truly helps to ensure our country's well-being. And whereas America's farmers have provided nutritious food and fiber to sustain our people through many decades of progress, farmers' productivity has increased steadily through largely to the initiative in supporting and adopting science-based methods and materials. Because of this productivity, American farmers are able to meet the needs of our nation and a growing world. And whereas American agriculture and the many service industries that depend upon it is a story extraordinarily labor creating extraordinary budget. The American farmer has an impact on every aspect of life, from big cities to small towns and all the routes in between. At this time of the year, is it only fitting that all Americans offer a special sign of thanks to those who grow, harvest, and bring the fruits of sun, seed, and soil to our nation's table. Now, therefore, I, Chairman Mark Coburn, of the Houston County Commission, do hereby proclaim the week November the 18th through November the 24th, 22 as Farm City Week. And I call upon all citizens in rural areas, cities alike, to join in recognizing the accomplishment of our productivity and farmers and our urban residents who cooperate to create abundance, wealth, and strength for this nation. Thank you.
All
right, like Commissioner Singfield said, week of November 18th is Farm City Week. The theme this year is Down to Earth, Agriculture Sustains Alabama. And it's just to reiterate, it is to deepen the understanding of our rural producers, of our urban workers. Agriculture doesn't just stop in the county. It starts a very long supply chain with manufacturers, producers, drivers. So we're all really in it together. And Houston County alone produces over $1 billion in revenue through agriculture, through the multiple steps. So we're fortunate to live in a county like this that is, that takes it serious and appreciates what our producers do, and not just in the rural community, but also in the urban communities. So we appreciate you, commissioners. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
I will note we have goodies from both of those presentations up here for us too. Cookie and peanuts and anyone else wants to contribute just after the meeting. All right, moving on to the regular agenda. First, the consent agenda, excuse me. On the consent agenda, we have 9 items that will be addressed all in one motion. I will read those items and then we will entertain a motion. The first item is an appointment to the Dothan Area Botanical Gardens Board. That will be James Ivy. Second item is appointment to the National Peanut Festival Board. That would be Ricky Herring. Third is appointment to the Wiregrass RC&D Council. That would be Ricky Herring. The fourth item is appointment to the Southeast Alabama Regional Planning and Development Commission, Brandon Shoup. The fifth item is appointment to the Wiregrass Rehab Center Advisory Council, Tracy Adams. Number 6, appointment to the Metropolitan Planning Organization, Brandon Shoup and Tracy Adams. Number 7, appointment to the Houston County Department of Human Resources Board, Laura Everett. Number 8, appointment to Sarcoa Board, Brandon Shoup. And number 9, request to award bid for a luminized roadway drainage pipe, the lowest bidder meeting specs, Road and Bridge. Motion by Commissioner Harvey to approve the consent agenda, second by Commissioner Singfield. I would note all those appointments will take effect with the new term in office, and with the exception of Laura Everett, whose term will take effect November 1st. Any questions or comments from the commission? Okay, all in favor?
Mr.
Say
Chairman,
aye.
Mr. Chairman,
No, sir.
hey, your
Not
rules of
taking-
engagement allow a citizen to make a comment on,
No, sir, not recognized.
thank
All
you,
in
sir,
favor,
for
say aye.
violating my constitutional
Opposed?
First Amendment rights one more
Motion
time. Thank
passes.
you.
Moving on to the regular agenda. Request to approve amended subdivision regulations as amended during the admin agenda to include road frontage of 60 feet. Did it right? Yes. All right, do we have a motion? Motion by Commissioner Singfield. Second by Commissioner Harvey. Questions or comments? Yes, sir. Go right ahead, Commissioner Shoup.
Comment about reducing the road width. I know we've had some discussions about that in the distant past. Is that something that y'all will consider now going forward? What were your thoughts about that?
No, in these subdivisions now, when people park in the road and all, you can't hardly get through them now with a garbage truck or a fire truck or, I mean, I don't think the roads need to be any narrower than they are now. I think it'd be a safety issue down the road.
Any other comments? The other issue that came up during the public hearing regarding the health department that brought to our attention, and we looked at in between the public hearing and this meeting, we looked at our subdivision regs, and I believe as they are written, we can address that that they can either, the health department can either sign or not sign based on the way they're written now, based on council. So we don't have to change those. The reason I brought it up after someone brought it to our attention during the public hearing was if we were going to change it, I'd rather do it now than have to go back through all the process that attorney Register said that he believes as they are written, they can either not sign them or sign them. So we should be good with that. Thank you for bringing it to our attention. Other comments or questions? Yes, sir. You've got to come to the podium and state your name. Turn that microphone back toward you. I forgot to turn it back. No, other side, sorry.
Sorry.
We'll straighten you out, try to.
First time novice here.
That's okay, no problem.
Are you saying that we, as we engineer a subdivision, that we vote on it per engineering as it's presented, or we vote on it today to make that an option? If you went from a 30-foot to a 26-foot road,
The roads, we're not changing the road width.
I thought that was part of your consideration.
No, the subdivision regulations as presented did not change the road width.
Is that not what you were discussing?
Question that was brought up
Yeah.
earlier, and I was asking about.
Okay, so that'd be another meeting, if we were to want to change that?
If we want to change that in the future, unless there's a movement to change it today, probably have to look at that in the future.
Okay.
Yeah, the issue there is a safety issue. So
All right,
we
yeah.
feel like we need to change this.
Yeah, my name's Ryan Chrysler, with
Yeah.
Smart Homes of Wiregrass.
Thank you
Thank
for that. Thank you. Other comment? Yes, sir. Mr. Sinclair.
Concerned about amending rules, can we make the language, change that language in this in order that we won't have to come back later and readjust that?
Regarding the health department?
Yes.
We discussed that in between the, that's what I was just saying, we discussed that in between the hearing and this meeting, and our current subdivision regs cover that for us. We don't have to change it. Other comments or questions? Yes, sir, Commissioner Shee.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. You talked about adding an exception. Did that make it in these, the people that had it conceptualized but not had it platted?
That's not in there. I think that is just an administrative item that if anyone submits a, I think we called it Thursday, a letter of intent effective by January 1st, even if they have not already hired their, what is it, appraiser? Is that the right word?
Survey.
Surveyor, yeah, that's right. Surveyor, even if they had not, sorry about that, don't laugh. Even if they had not already hired their surveyor, if they have the intent and have been doing work in preparation of doing a subdivision, if they will send Barclay a letter of intent by January 1, we will grandfather them in.
If they've started the process and they kind of hung up, can't get this done, can't get that done. I mean, it's not, I think I'm gonna do one in 2 years.
Yeah, that's not,
They've got to be actively pursuing it. was the way
Someone-
I understood it.
I'm sorry. Yeah, someone was here Thursday and said they were working on one, but didn't think they would have their survey done by January 1st. And we just said, you don't want to penalize someone like that. So if they would send us a letter and say they've begun the process, the land, all the things that you got to do, if they will send us a letter saying that they've done that, then we'll grandfather them in. But I think that's an administrative item. I don't think this discussion and being on the minutes and just an administrative item, I believe will cover that rather than it actually being in the subdivision regs. Am I right about that, Counselor? He's not in the affirmative. Any other questions? All in favor of the motion, say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, gentlemen, for working on that. And Chris and everyone else that had input. Item number 2 is request to adopt resolution of official intent of counties to issue its general obligation warrant and a loan of the proceeds to Sarcoa pursuant to Amendment 772. Motion by Commissioner Singfield, second by Commissioner Herring. Comments or questions? We discussed this on Thursday. We are basically acting as a conduit in order to allow Sarcoa to build a new building and pay the funds back. Questions or comments? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 3, request to adopt resolution authorizing commission chairman to request allocation from local assistance and tribal consistency funds. Motion by Commissioner Shute, Second by Commissioner Herring. Questions or comments? Will be additional $100,000 from the federal government. Questions, comments? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item 4 is request to accept property on Ennis Road from the city of Dothan for a public safety building. Motion by Commissioner Herring, second by Commissioner Harvey. Questions or comments? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item 5, request to approve maintenance responsibility swap of certain roads with the city of Dothan effective January 1st, 2023, and authorize chairman to negotiate and sign documents. Motion by Commissioner Herring, second by Commissioner Hart. Questions or comments or discussion? All right, I do want to mention once again how much we appreciate the city and their willingness to work with us and collaborate and do what's best for the citizens of Houston County, city of Dothan, and get this worked out. They were very, very good to work with, particularly since we had my good friend always says time and pressure are the two most important things, and today is time and pressure. So to get it done by today, we had to get it handled. So appreciate them doing that. All in favor of the motion say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Number 6, request to award bid for disposal of solid waste to lowest bidder meeting specs. Motion by Commissioner Singfield. Second by Commissioner Shute. I do want to say on this one that I appreciate Waste Management, who we will continue to take our solid waste to, for working with us on this. We had some back and forth regarding contract and whatnot. They honored the pricing we were paying, and I think that rep is here somewhere, yeah, in the back. Thank you all for working with us on that and getting this to fruition. You will get with the press after, and y'all get the contract for that. So thank you. Any other comments or questions? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 7, request to award bid for hot plant mix to lowest bidder meeting specs. Motion to approve. Motion by Commissioner Harris, second by Commissioner Hart. Questions or comments? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 8, request to approve final plat for Rima Oaks subdivision. Motion to approve. Second by Commissioner Harris. Yeah, second by Commissioner Shute. Questions or comments? All in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Staff reports. Staff reports, Mr. Chief Administrative Officer, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have no reports today. However, I would like to take an opportunity to say that it's been an honor and a privilege to work for this commission and specifically you, Mr. Chairman, for these last several years that I've been here. And I look forward to continuing to do service to this county, to this commission, and to the incoming chairman in the next foreseeable future. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. You do a tremendous job. Mr. County Engineer.
I reiterate those words he said. We got 2 closed roads, Raleigh Road, and Taylor Road, placing cross trains on them, and Enterprise Church Road, and cleaning out a culvert on it. It'll be closed during the day, but open at night, so it's just a temporary road closure.
Okay, Mr. County Attorney. Any comments or questions for the staff? Okay, and I'm gonna step down to the podium for a special presentation.
All right, first rule is don't anybody look at me.
Because try my best to hold it together. First of all, as I said at the beginning of the meeting, I want to thank all of you for being here for what is a very special day for Commissioner Singfield and I. And at this point, I want to call Commissioner Singfield down to the podium. Down here.
Pleasure serving with you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I met Doug Singfield a little over 12 years ago at the Broadway Cafe in Ashford. If any of you know where that is, you know that's where you meet everybody in Ashford. I'm a pretty good judge of people when I meet them, and I knew when I met Doug Singfield, he was one of the good ones. Many of you are aware of Paul Harvey's God Created a Farmer. This is the man he created. Doug has been a farmer for many years, all of his life. He has served his country as a veteran. He has served his community as a leader. He has served his earth as a farmer. He has served this county for 12 years as a tremendous elected official. He's worked on our association's Workman's Comp Board as a dedicated chairman. He served RC&D, saw a rep from them. Farm City, you just saw, he's been on the National Peanut Festival Board. He's a dedicated Alpha rep. But most importantly to me, and I'll make some comments about that momentarily, he's been a professional partner on the Houston County Commission with everyone that we've served with. And he's the best singer for a county commission I've ever heard in my life. I don't know if y'all have ever heard, I'm not gonna get him to, but he can sing. Doug, I personally, after today and on into the future, I just want you to know, you and I will always be friends. I appreciate everything we've done together, and I appreciate your service to the citizens of Houston County. I'm going to present you with this plaque that says, presented to Commissioner Doug Singfield, in appreciation for 12 years of service and dedication on the Houston County Commission, November 2010 to November 2022. Congratulations, and I will ask you for some comments.
Goodness, where do you start? I can't say enough good things about my friend Chairman Culver. Over the 12 years that I've had the opportunity to work with him, I've watched him. He's made so many accomplishments. He's done so many wonderful things for the people of Houston County and all of our surrounding towns. I've watched him in his leadership positions, looking at everything that we did in our county. He studied it. He knew everything that he needed to be done and voted on and moved forward. I relied on Chairman Culver for many questions that I had, that I could sit down and talk with him, and he would explain to me exactly what I needed to do and how I needed to do it. And a lot of times you have to know what you're doing and what you're voting on when it's best for the people of Houston County. And Chairman Culver has certainly provided that knowledge and wisdom and understanding, and his leadership qualities has meant so much to me, Chairman, and thank you so much. God bless you. I have my wife with me here today, and my son Shane Singfield, and Mary. I don't know how I made it without you. Over 1969, I met this girl in a college dance, and we've been dancing ever since. But she's meant so much to me and always been my strength and my hope, and carrying me through the good times and the bad times. You know, as a county commissioner, a lot of times you get a little bit down, but she's picked me up and said, it'll all be fine. It'll all work out. And it always has. And Mary, thank you so much for your support and helping me through these years. And I look and Shane, my son, and our other son, Derek, that's they live in Clarksville, Tennessee. But our 4 grandchildren, Emmy and Ann Davis and Max and Grayson, unlike, you know, that Grayson and Emmy are junior and sophomore in Auburn, so you're proud of that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But again, over the years, being a farmer, working with 30 years with a corporation, being involved with so many different things, but I enjoyed serving on all the different boards I have in the past. And I commend my friend, executive director for the ACCA, Sonny Brasfield, and his great leadership for the state of Alabama, 67 counties, one voice. And I always remember what Sonny said, it doesn't matter till it matters, right? And that's right, and it matters now. We're moving forward. But I'm looking forward to the future. I want to stay involved and do things. I just love people of Houston County. And I'm gonna get to where I'm like Bob Woodall, I'm gonna wear no socks. But really and truly, I can't say enough good things about all our department heads and Peter. I want to just say, you can't name all the employees of this great county. The Houston County employees, every one of you Houston County employees have meant so much to me. And we have built relationships and friendships, and that friendship for life. And I appreciate all of you Houston County employees for your dedicated service to making it happen for the people of Houston County and serving the people of Houston County. I can't name every one of you, but you know who you are. Over 400 something employees of Houston County. And they have meant the world to me. And they've helped me. And any things that I've had, they've always been there to help me. Especially the sheriff, thank you, and the sheriff's department. Can't say enough good things about our sheriff's department. Law enforcement is so important today, and they willing to stand in the front line of protecting our citizens. And I commend you, Sheriff, and all our deputies and others here. So thank you again. I won't drag this on out anyway, but I certainly have to share these things with me. Matt Parker, thank you. It's always been a great working relationship with you and Dothan Chamber of Commerce and the city of Dothan. And we just going to continue to see great progress going forward in the future. God bless each and every one of you. And I appreciate you so much. Thank you, Chair.
You need to set your standards higher than wanting to be like Bob Woodall. Love you, Bob. Those of you that know me know I've got a little counter on my watch that has been counting down days since it was about 300 and I don't know how many. I want you to know I still have 22. Today is not the last day, but it feels like it. Couple people I want to recognize before I get into some comments, and y'all all look down. Just don't look at me, please, because I've become a mush in my old days. But Sonny, I appreciate you being here. I know you drove down from Montgomery, and I did not know you were going to be here. Sonny Brasfield has been one of my dearest friends and has taught me all the political stuff that I know and try to forget and don't think is important, but you have to have knowledge of, and you know where you are. I don't have to say. I'll mention some other folks, but my son Cannon in the middle, raise your hand there, son. He's my youngest, drove down from Huntsville. My eldest son had to work today. My daughter dentist is fixing somebody's teeth or traveling or something, whatever it is she does, and couldn't be here. Appreciate you being here, son, and so proud of you. He is a chemical engineer now, just graduated, and proud of that. Bunch of engineers in this room today. Thank my wouldn't be a normal person if I wasn't thinking about my mother and my grandparents who got me here. Frankly, my former wife, who spent 25 years with me, helping me be here, who's my dear friend still. You know, it takes a lot of people to make 36 years happen. It doesn't just, you don't just do it by yourself. Today is my 824th meeting. If you count admin meetings, it's been over 1,600 meetings. When I started, I was 12. We had we had no cell phones, no internet. Commission shared a closet on the first floor. I think it's Carla's office now, actually, of the courthouse. We had one 4-drawer file cabinet that each of us got. Each commissioner got a file drawer. And we shared that. Sometimes you question God. Sheriff, you too, by the way. I meant to mention you also. Thank you for your partnership over the years. Sometimes we question God when he speaks to us, and more often we don't realize when God is speaking to us and calling. I absolutely believe that me being here today is a God thing in my life. There's no way that there's any other sane explanation for somebody doing this for 36 years and feeling as blessed as I do today after 9 years. I mean, 9 terms. There's no way this could not be a God thing. A simple thank you to all the people that have been involved in this minimizes significantly how I feel today. But I wholeheartedly thank God and the citizens of this county for the last 36 years. People have asked me, what are you most proud of? And it kind of surprises them, I think, for me to say, you know, I'm happy about the things we've built, the buildings we've bought, the roads we've paved, and the departments we've funded, and the fiscal responsibility we've had, because we've done all that, and it's been great. But you know, those things are just concrete and asphalt and things we're supposed to be doing. And I'm proud of that. I'm proud of the growth in the buildings and the clean office. But it's the people whose lives we've touched. That's what I'm the proudest of. I can think back on people and events, and it rings so clearly in my mind, not to walk you down a history lesson, but I remember when we were thinking about buying this building. We had a public hearing and everybody said, y'all are spending too much money. I was a first-term commissioner and young, 12. So I didn't know any better. I looked at all of them in a room way fuller than this, and I said, you know, if it gets me unelected, so be it. Robert Crowder called me, so be it, from then on. Every time something controversial, he said, what do you think about it? So be it. Evidently it was okay, because that was a long time ago. Sonny and I one day were sitting in front of a governor, and we were fixing to bring him a bunch of prisoners, and he was giving us a lesson in how we were being bad little children. I looked at that governor and said, that's all well and good, Governor, but we're bringing you a bunch of prisoners in the morning. I got up and walked out of his office. And so Sonny, every time he gives a speech, he says, that's all well and good, Governor. So that's what I think about you. And we did, and it worked, and we got rid of all the prisoners around the state. I remember the day in this very room, the only time I lost control of a commission meeting, even with George. Where'd he go? The only time I lost control of a commission meeting, this room was slam full when we were thinking about building a jail. Of people with their hands held singing, "We Shall Overcome." And they would not sit down. And they would not let me control them. But you know, God has a way of working with you. There was a church people that did not want it where we were going to put it, right here behind us. They all came with their toothbrushes. They were ready to go to jail, weren't they, Sheriff? Where you at? Current location of the jail fell out of the sky. And we put it there. It worked out well. The pastor of that church and I got to be best friends, went to Leadership Alabama together. God is good for people. God works. I stood right here with George Jones, and we proclaimed George Jones Day in Houston County. You think I didn't enjoy that? I actually enjoyed everything about that process, and I still hope one day it comes to fruition. I enjoyed standing here with Houston County Queens, who I saw be little bitty people that are now big people, being successful in life. the Jewel Singleys of the world, who I love to death, and is now Miss Wicksburg. I'm not gonna start naming them. The red ribbon presentations, the people we recognize for doing good works in the county. Those are the things I remember. The people. Those are the things I'll take with me when I leave here in 22 days, not today. It's the things like that that we've done for citizens. And there's a couple of groups of people I just want to mention. One is the commissioners that I've served with. 12 commissioners and 1 chairman. They have been professional, they've been honorable, and I have been blessed to serve with every one of them, even Curtis, who gives me a hard time every day, but has been a great friend. When I first got elected, I watched the news within a couple of weeks, and I saw the Vernon Town Council having a meeting, and they were throwing chairs at each other and acting like Vernon. Any y'all from Vernon? And I said, that is not what I want the Houston County Commission to be. And I have worked hard as your chairman to make sure you're proud of what we do behind me. Secondly is the relationship we've had with the community in the region, and not just professionally, but as friends. Matt Parker and Mike Schmitz and David Money and both Mayor Salipas and Bob Woodall and Pat Thomas and on and on and on. We have made our region not where the city was the city and the county was the county when we first came into office, but we are all in this together for the good of our citizens. That, folks, that didn't just happen, did it, Mike? That didn't just happen.
You did it all.
You're out of order. I've always wanted to do that. That didn't just happen. We worked at that. Matter of fact, that's one of the things I'm the most proud of, is how we have formed a region to work together for the good of our citizens. That's important. Lastly, and most importantly, and Doug mentioned it, I'm so grateful for the employees that we have, both hired and contracted, who've made everything we've done possible the last 36 years. You know, we get elected and we sit up there and we think we're important, we're really not. You know, we have this thing right here and 4 people watch us. So, you know, we're not near as important as we think we are. It's the employees that make the things happen that we say, that we do. We couldn't do anything without our employees. We couldn't provide the services without them. Y'all might have noticed on your way in, did anybody notice the trees on either side of the door coming in? Anybody say, what the heck? A very dear friend of mine who I love and respect greatly gave me a suggestion about those trees. And I thought it was a little crazy at first. But the more I thought about it, and the more the days came down, I felt compelled to do something for our employees that have given so much to me. Employees that are my friends, my acquaintances, and many I don't even know. But I know what they've done for us, right, Sherry? Those are 4 peach trees that represent 4 decades I've served. And I bought them in honor of my family, my 3 kids and my mother. They're going to be planted in that island right out there in front. I hope those peach trees grow over the years, and when they produce peaches and fruit, employees in this building can enjoy that fruit forever. It's my way of giving back, always giving back to the people that made our jobs what it is, that made us what we are. It's not much, maybe just a peach 5 years from now. But when you as employees enjoy that peach, I want you to remember how much we appreciate you, how much we thank you, how much you mean to us. I could stand up here all day and tell you all kind of stories, but Jackie's already making eyes at me. She said this has got to be short, and she's still the boss for 22 more days. So with that, I'll prepare to end this and end my 800 and some odd meeting with just a little bit of advice. Brandon, you can be making your way down here. You know, this has not been a chapter in my life. This has been the whole book. The only advice I would give to the incoming commission is don't take all of this stuff so serious. This is just politics. This ain't real life. All these folks are real life. Your family's real life. Don't worry. Don't worry about the mule going blind. Just load the wagon. How many of y'all have heard me say that 100 times? Don't let the politics or the naysayers get in the way of doing the right thing. You were elected to serve. Serve. Winston Churchill once said, "You'll never reach your destination if you stop and throw rocks at every dog that barks along the way." I believe that. Know it's important. Know what's just noise and filter the noise. Work together and give credit to those in lesser positions because they probably deserve it. Your due will come. Ronald Reagan said, we can get a lot done if we don't worry about who gets the credit. With that, I say thank you one last time, and I'm going to turn it over to Commissioner Shue. No, if I had a gavel, I'd give it to him, but he ain't elected.
It keeps telling me about this mysterious write-in candidate. I'm starting to think it might be him. So. No, it is an honor. It always has been an honor to serve with you. I know we have a special unveiling here shortly, but as we sit here in the building that I predict will one day bear your name, let me
Don't
just
say
say
that. That's what you do for dead people.
I said one day. But I just want you to know that I have learned a lot from you. You've always tried to steer me in the right direction, not always wanted to go, but anyway, I greatly appreciate your friendship, greatly appreciate your service, and you're right, this is what it's all about, the people that we serve. And so hopefully myself and the future commissions will take that message to heart. So but if you'll join me by your portrait, which will hang in this chambers in perpetuity.
Thank you. I guess.
Ready?
Drum roll.
I don't know about all that. Have y'all seen me? And with that, I will say for the last time, this meeting is adjourned. Thank y'all for being here.